Can I play? On the playground where we played, do you remember the different games? How about the people not quite the same? They jumped, yet the jump ropes remained in solitary hands. They rolled the dice and, despite there being ladders, faced the snake's demands. How about the classroom where we learned addition, that everything can contribute and make a greater sum? Yet then we learned division and spirits grew numb. We did not learn it in math class. We learned from society how to shun. It broke childhood spirits and our innocence was done. Sometimes kids would pull her hair and call her dumb. Sometimes they would call him smelly and kick him in the bum, never thinking consciously of what they had become. Once intoxicated by cuddles, little kids were drowning in tear-made puddles. Once a part of the huddle, now a victim of the jokes, you dirty muggle. We quickly forgot what made us kids, grew up too soon and forgot amidst the daily grind a finer time. Like a game of tic-tac-toe, losing our innocence was predefined. We looked around at society and all we could find was division. So then, so many lose out on the game of living, as humanity is brutal and so unforgiving. Like a game of chess, we throw pieces into the fire, thinking little of their worth or to what they aspire. When we played fish, we learned that things match and things are not meant to be together, that we select groups, and in other games we learned prescribed value, forgetting our subconscious prescription to the intrinsic value of life, folk, and even friends. Pointing, jeering, and looking down upon people of which once we did depend. Hearts lay broken and spirits fell like Jenga, toppled by people with whom we once played and frolicked. The chalk that once would draw lines for merrymaking in hopscotch now has hope lost, now drawing lines between us. Warming jingles became hateful limericks. The pogs we once flicked were long forgotten. Like friends we once had, now in an abyss of depression because people were so rotten. When we swam down by the river, we never let another slither to the bottom. We laughed and danced at galas and fairs. We never had to learn the concept of what is fair. Now, as we have learned division, we are stricken and droop into despair. We look at our younger peers and wish we were still there. We wonder if there will ever be a world that truly cares. Like Trivial Pursuit, we wander in circles, never finding the answer that takes us where we need to be. Quite simply, what we lose in youth is what makes us whole. The adults call it altruism, and some say it's droll, due to the fact they lost their sense of wonder and compassion as they grew old. Peter Pan and all the fairy tales of old, they all have a binding message that we are one united whole. Though the lost boys never grow old, there is a message that is stole. For now we are lost children with features of age. We have forgotten everything we had innately that made us full of compassion and driven to play together. The wars of the world, poverty and greed seethe in society. We should not take it lightly when the children decree we would run the world better than all of thee, as we showed them division and how to be bullies. They learned this game of life from us. We showed them they can bend the rules to fit selfish desires. We showed them a world of callousness and cruelty, when all they thought it was going to be was a bigger playground with more friends to be made. Yet we entered the playgrounds, and of friends, enemies we made. So, it is our responsibility to protect the future's generations, youth and innocence, to teach that division is useless unless it's used to share. Bullies we must pity, as they already were tricked to lose their soul. And for those who are victims, we must remind them to be bold, to protect their inner shine. Remind them that there are brief moments where adults will play kind. Remind them that they may feel left behind, yet not all is lost in this game of life. That friends will be found, and that you must keep walking this earthly ground. Be proud for not fitting in a world of callous darkness so dim. Remind them there is a lantern that is kindness and joy. That though one day we set aside our toys, we never cease to dream. As the child within slumbers and the adult cries and screams. So, remember the games that you once played. Remember life is hard for the youths, as they have troubles and have to face these days. And always remember to not let your innocence waste away. Let that kid join in and play. Say no to bullying. Say no to bullying yourself too, with love.